My first symptoms start as a bipolar type 1. And when I was at cooking school, when I was 21 years old, I started feeling amazing. I started feeling like very hyper, but but I thought it was maybe, wow, it's cooking school, it's giving me all this happiness. My energy started increasing and increasing and increasing, and I quite enjoying it because I'm really shy, and having a lot of friends, having a lot of people who like me. I have a lot of people like, and to accept me, because I also was struggling like to be gay. I
Yeah.
struggled hard for that. So everybody was, oh man, it's gay, it's not a problem, everything was doing awesome. And I was the best of school, was sleeping 4 hours, going to the gym, maintaining a full-time job, and I did it for like 5, 6 months like that. But then that energy started increasing, increasing, increasing. I was out of control
Okay.
at the point like I was holding a full-time job. I was going to the gym and I started cooking at home, right? I
Okay.
started cooking at home because I was practicing, because clearly I was so amazing. I was the best chef ever that I was getting practicing to be ready to cook for Buckingham Palace. I wasn't the chef. I will be the chef for the queen. Like, come on, look at me, look what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So I started doing that and cooking, and all my neighborhood was getting fat because I was eating nothing. I wasn't baking a cake. I was baking 5 cakes a day. In the remaining time, I was sleeping an hour. But then that energy keeps increasing, increasing. I was talking no sense. I was getting a job. I was a total mess. My boss talked to me and say, "Hey, Manny, you need to seek for help. You don't seem well at all." I'm saying, "No, I'm invisible. Like, what are you talking about, right?"
Mhm.
Even a teacher at the Cordon Bleu, which is the school that I went, he's like, "No, Manny, you're destroying everything you're doing." I'm like, "No, I'm gonna be the chef for the queen, and I'm gonna be the chef for the queen." Until I spent 3 days without sleeping and without eating, and I totally crashed out. I
Yeah.
crashed out like nothing. I couldn't stand up. It was like a feeling, a horrible feeling. The friend that I was living with, he took me to the hospital, and I spent there a week. I answered well to medication, and after I answered well to all the medications and all the therapy, and then I started going. There is when I get diagnosed as a bipolar type 1. Um, they assigned me there a psychiatrist, right? To keep going to see to get better, to explain what is bipolar type 1, what is being bipolar, what is having a mental health. I didn't pay too much attention for what he said, because still me, I still was a chef for the queen. That thought keeps on me, and it was invisible. Like, nobody would be better than me. I didn't went there to a psychiatrist neither, because I have a trauma with psychiatrists to tell the things too, because since I am a child,
Yeah.
I always been to a psychiatrist, right? Problems with attentions, problem with their problem. They sent me to a psychiatrist because I was gay. They sent me to a psychiatrist because I talk a lot. They sent me to a psychiatrist because I put peanut butter on my bread. Psychiatrists everywhere. So
Yeah.
for me, I was just sick. It's like, no, I can do it. If I am available to cook,
Yeah.
I will be available to like get on this hard. I was just having too much on my plate because I was working full time. I was going to the gym full time. I was studying full time. I was getting ready to cook for the queen, and I'm still saying it. Like, I wanted that emotion back.
Yeah.
In that journey, I follow my medication, but I didn't follow my medication. I was on and off, because I really didn't think I was bipolar type 1, as the doctor says. I
Yeah.
was just someone who experienced like super energy, because cooking just made me so happy. It's my addiction.
Yeah.
Cooking, it was and it's still my addiction.
Yeah.
So if I'm cooking, I'm well. Anyways, I was drinking my depressions. I was creating on my mania, like on and up, on and up, on and up. until one day, because that's something that I'm being lucky.
Yeah.
I got a job when my boss is a chef. When
Yeah.
when the owner of the restaurant is a chef, it's a lot of understanding, and mostly this chef in particular,
Yeah.
who was really good, who understand people, who understand mental health. So for me, my mental health, even that I saw a lot of people with breakdowns, like I have breakdowns
Yeah.
all the time, but it wasn't that strong, you know? So this restaurant burned down, and I faced the real cooking life, to put it in a way. I was living a dream. My dream just burned down. And I started jumping restaurants from restaurants, restaurant from restaurants. Mean chef who yelled at me, "You are the worst. This is not how it is. Just you need to
Yeah.
F work doing it, you know?"
Yeah.
And my pay was really bad. I started struggling with pay, you know, like medication, it was $200 a month. I was making 700. Rent was a lot of money. I was
Yeah.
struggling here. Anxiety came, the paranoia came, you know.
Yeah.
And even that, I didn't look for help, because it's like, no, I can do it. I can do it, because that's how a chef have to be strong. You need to do it to your chef. I was struggling to don't show my symptoms of
Yeah.
paranoia and everything, because I needed to be strong, because that's the thing. If somebody starts saying like you're weak, you are struggling, you are something, they don't want you.
Yeah.
You know, you get vain from the
Yeah.
cooking work. So all these symptoms start piling up, plus all the symptoms without psychiatrist for 8, 9 years, right? Because what I've been doing is just swallowing all my feelings. Just keep it to me, not talking to anyone, right?
Yeah.
I started feeling really, really bad, really, really, really bad, until one day I was polishing cutlery. I always remember that. And I started whispering. And I saw that my coworker beside me, and it's like, what are you saying? He's like, I'm not saying nothing, Manny. I'm like, no, you're talking. Like, no, I'm not. It's like, this is so weird. And then this whisper followed me on the bus. This whisper followed me at bed. This whisper followed me in the morning, next morning. And the other day, and that day became 4 or 5 months, right? But
Yeah.
with all this, it was following me, the whisper, with the paranoia. The paranoia gets so extreme, like somebody's gonna kill me,
Okay.
you know. So I put an extra lock on my door, on my apartment. I start getting delusions, like crazy delusions. I used to see a counselor, not a psychiatrist, which I can talk a little bit,
Yeah.
right? And I blame him. He was sleeping with underage women, right? And he yelled at him, and it was like I run away from the hospital, you know, because the counselor was in the hospital near my house. And everybody just start hating me. Everybody just talking in top of me. I can feel it on my skin, on my brain, like
Yeah.
everybody's looking at me, you know, until one day that I was on the bus, and I wake up with all these horrible feelings that I don't know how I managed, but it was, everything started becoming green and blurry, but greenish, and I managed to get to the stop until my work.
Yeah.
And I dragged myself out of the bus, right? The voices were so mean, so mean, so loud. It's like a sound, like I thought my ears would explode. I start agonizing in the middle, in the front of the restaurant, right? I
Yeah.
don't remember much. I have like flashbacks that one of my coworkers just took me. I remember he putting me inside the car. I remember getting into ER,
Yeah.
and then the last that I remember is I woke up in the hospital.
Okay.
I woke up in the hospital. I was totally sedated, totally sedated. I couldn't even swallow my saliva. Like it was like so bad. I woke up 4 days after. I thought it was Tuesday, but it was Friday, you know.
Yeah.
And he told me it's like just being 4 days sleeping. Then a few weeks after in the hospital, I stayed there. They told me you are. I start talking with the psychiatrist a little bit, slowly, just symptoms, not about my life, just the symptoms. And they told me you have a chemical imbalance. You've been diagnosed with bipolar type 1, just to let you know you're schizoaffective. He told me, are you know what's a schizoaffective? And I say no, displaying everything. But that display me everything, and I understand a little bit, but that was just the beginning of the entire hell that I live. Because I went out of the hospital. I went home to because I have to move. I lose my apartment. They kicked me out because I didn't pay.
Yeah.
So I went to my basement. I picked up a few stuff. I sell some silver cutlery that I have to keep paying my medication. And I was surviving with the minimum. But then I thought I was ready after a month to go back to work. I get a job, right? Voices voices keep like up and down. Sometimes it's whispers, sometimes they're voices, right? But I was struggling with negative symptoms. I get the job and I have a really nice resume. And it's not the best curriculum. It's not the best curriculum. In Canada, we say resume. It's not the best curriculum, but it's a good curriculum, But when you get the job, I forget how to turn the kitchen off. I forget how to grab a knife. I forget how to fry an egg. My brain was fried. Like the chef just looked at me in 2 weeks after. It's like, do you lie in your resume? I'm like, no, I'm just struggling with something I don't want to talk about. It's like, well, you can, like, sorry, you cannot work here because we need something more strong. It's like, I'm being strong, just give me something. It's like, no, we can't, I'm sorry. That it was a mash down. It was hurt on my proud, on my ego, on everything, because all my life I've been managing through cooking, and I couldn't do what I much life. Then I sit down on my couch. Sorry, I went home and I sit down on my couch. I I was struggling for everything. I couldn't think about anything. It's like my brain got fried, right? I was to think about to get a glass of water, an hour sitting down, just thinking, how gonna grab the glass? How gonna put water on the glass? How gonna drink it? That was my thinking, all that. And days became weeks, weeks became months, months, because a whole year I was a human vegetable, you know? I was a human vegetable, like I was nothing. I was so sad and I was ready to kill myself, because it's like I cannot cook. I cannot get that pleasure from cooking, for reading, for the stuff that I like to do. I was just nothing, just getting fatter and fatter and fatter, and I couldn't talk to the phone. I couldn't, I thought my family hacked my phone, so I didn't research nothing on the phone. When I see the TV, I don't remember any program that I see on the TV. I don't remember anything. I just wanted to sleep all day, but nights were so long and nights were so short, and mornings were so long, and morning it was just an entire hell. I don't even know how to explain how horrible that was.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So, would you like to share your experience with the medical professionals with all of us, please?
Yes, for sure. For medic for medical experience, it's for me was really hard, because, as I told you before, my family, since I'm a child, always sent me to a psychiatrist because something was wrong with me, because I talked too much, because I did this, I did that. Even when I was gay, they sent me to a psychiatrist, right? And it created me a trauma, because until I was 19, I was on and on and on. And what was really create me a trauma, and it bothers me, is like a lot of psychiatrists broke the professional silence, right? They start telling my family about the things that I do, and they start saying, because it's no way. I'm very shy. I try to normally keep stuff inside me, instead of like telling things like.
Yeah.
And if my family see this video right now, they will say, "Oh my God, I never knew that," you know.
Yeah.
So it created a trauma. Now, when I was diagnosed with bipolar, I never went to a psychiatrist. I went a little bit, but I didn't pay attention because I didn't know it was that bad.
Okay.
And when I get diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder, it was a lottery. It really was a big lottery because at the beginning, some of them they wanted to help me. They wanted to take me out of that living hell that I was living.
Yeah.
Mm, but they start to lose hopes on me. They look every time I say I'm gonna be out of this, right?
Yeah.
They say I don't know, right? But it's like things are gonna get better at least. It's like I don't know. I can be able to cook again. I don't know, and that I don't know it became a no,
Yeah.
right? I know. Like the best you can do right now is to go to employment insurance and understand to live with that little money you're gonna get for the rest of your life. I'm like, this is horrible. This is horrible. It's like I always been really proud for my money, right? I have a work ethical. Like I like to work for my things mostly because I love what I do. So it's a win-win, right? I love what I do. I make money what I do. Everything's perfect. But these
Yeah.
people telling me like my life is gonna be just in front of a TV in off,
Yeah.
thinking every day. That's not the life that I wanted to do. I literally to the point after that year of being a human vegetable, I say, you know what? The little energy that I have, I write a suicide note. Like I was ready to kill myself because I say, no, that's it. You know, I was living in a basement from a friend's house. You know, he was his house at the end of the day. It wasn't even my house. I wasn't able to even have a place. You know, until I remember my sister owed me a lot of money. And I say, and winter was around the corner. And I say to my sister, I'm sorry, but this is my time to pay me.
Yeah.
Like, I need that money. I'm going from Spain because I'm going to try there. Maybe I'm not from Spain, but I'm from a very similar culture.
Yeah.
Maybe I can find help there, you know, and I can, because I was struggling to speak in English. I was struggling with everything. So I went to Spain here and I went to a psychiatrist. They told me, no, neither. Like, you don't want to recover. You're really bad. Until, because in all this paranoia, I thought I had a HIV.
Okay.
I went to test and the doctor told me, it's like, dude, you're not okay. Like, you're totally not okay. You cannot even walk. You cannot even do anything. You need to talk to someone. I'm like, yes, I need to talk to someone. For the first time, I accept that. Yes, I want to express all this feeling out.
Yeah.
And I remember they gave me a number of these psychiatrists who was recently graduated. And I went for the first time and he started fighting with me. We started fighting because he didn't understand. I didn't understand. And he said, you know what, Manuel, you need to sit down, shut the fuck off and listen to me. I don't know what's happening to you. I'm pretty new with this, but
Okay.
if you want, we can jump on this journey together, you know? And I say, you know what, at least someone is telling me the truth, you know?
Yeah.
We can do it. I'm gonna take you out of this. And slowly start getting out of this. And thanks to him, he lowered down my medication. He changed my medication for a better one. He changed stuff. He is not the kind of psychiatrist who have patience to say stuff nicely. He just talks straight to you. Like, this is what is happening. You are fucked. You cannot work. You cannot cook. You cannot do this. Accept it now. It's okay to take time, Manuel. You need to take time. You don't need to cook to feel better this time. You don't need to like drink wine to feel better. You don't need to, and sit me down very strict, you know.
Yeah.
And it was like in the army. And slowly he became more soft, and right now it's more soft and more soft. But I have to thank him because finally someone get to hear me,
Yeah.
you know. Finally someone get to take me out of this, to tell me the truth, to have hopes, because even my family didn't have hopes, you know.
Yeah.
It's like I wanted to talk, and I that's something, you know, like it was hard for me to require help for my family, because it's like I have two schizophrenic uncles, right? And the way they treat them, and the way they are they are severe
Yeah.
schizophrenia, you know. And
Okay.
the way they think, oh, they're crazy, they're this and this. And I actually thought that's one of the reasons I didn't ask for help neither,
Yeah.
because I thought my family hacked my phone. They want to know that I'm schizophrenic. They're going to put me into the hospital. They're going to do this with me. They're going to do this with that. There's always been a negative speech with them every time I try to express that and what I'm feeling,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Also, what it helped me aside the medical experience, it was people like in Instagram, in Facebook, on internet, who told their story, you know, like doesn't make you feel alone, because when I'm feeling all this, I thought that it was alone, but it's not. And I feel like I can do it, you know. If they can do it, I can do it, you
Yeah.
know. That's why I say medical experience is a lottery, and we should never stop. When
Yeah.
you hear a no, never stop. When you hear a year, just stay there, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. It took me a year and a half, because I'm still like, right now I'm serving coffees. Like, I'm available to make a really good cake, you know. But
Yeah.
right now I'm just making coffee slowly, slowly. Right now I can see that I'm getting better, because I'm able to go to work,
Yeah.
you know, because I get paid like nothing. But I'm using this as an experiment to slowly, slowly
Sure.
getting back for what I was, you know.
Sure. Sure.